Ang Surigao del Sur ay kilala sa larangan ng turismo. Kamusta naman kaya ang estado ng politika sa lugar na ito? Ako po si Robert Tan at ito ang paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Surigao del Sur. Makikita ito sa Caraga Region, sa silangang bahagi ng Mindanao malapit sa Philippine Sea. Ito ang ika-56 na independent Philippine province sa Pilipinas. Dito rin naninirahan ang mga ethnic tribes na Mamanua at Manobo. Sa ngayon ay nahahati ang Surigao del Sur sa 17 munisipalidad at 2 syudad na may mahigit kalahating milyong populasyon. Sa land area nitong mahigit 500,000 hektarya, 45% nito ay dinidevelop para sa agrikultura. Ilan sa mga produkto nito ay palay, mais, niyog, abaka, soybeans, kape at marami pang iba. Ang Surigao del Sur rin ang top supplier ng aquaculture production sa buong Caraga Region na may 77% share. Mayroon ditong seaweed farming, prawn and lobster culture, crab fattening at iba pa. Ang mga ito ang nakapagbibigay rin ng trabaho at additional income sa marginal fishermen. Na rin ang lugar na ito sa small and large scales mining.
Sa loob ng isang oras ay komprehensibong usapan na naman ang hatid namin sa inyo. Aalamin natin ang mga isyong umiiral sa lugar na tinaguriang Shangri-La by the Pacific. Makakapanayam ni Cathy San Gabriel ang isang re-electionist sa pagka-gobernador mula sa naturang lalawigan. Cathy?
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Robert, at magandang araw po sa ating mga manonood. Tumatakbong muli sa pagka-gobernador ang ating panauhin sa hapong ito. Aalamin natin kung ano ang balak niya upang ituloy ang kanyang mga pinasimulang proyekto sa kanyang lalawigan kung sakaling siya ay mahalal muli. Abangan niyo yan sa pagbabalik ng paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Sa bisa ng Republic Act 7901 na nilagdaan ni dating Pangulong Fidel V. Ramos noong ika-23 ng Pebrero 1995, nabuo ang rehiyon ng Caraga na binubuo ng 5 lalawigan. Ang Agusan del Norte, Agusan del Sur, Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur at ang Dinagat Islands. Makikita sa hilagang silangan ng Mindanao, ang Caraga ay isang rehiyon na may pinakamaliit na populasyon at kitang inaambag sa ekonomiya ng buong bansa. Malaking bahagi ng ekonomiya ng rehiyon ay agrikultural, panggugubat at pangingisda, ngunit mabilis na lumalawak ang industriya ng turismo at minahan sa buong rehiyon.
Ito po ang paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan. Ako si Cathy San Gabriel. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng media ng bayan na pinagsanib puwersa ng People's Television, IBC, PBS Radyo ng Bayan 738 kHz, Philippine Information Agency, Philippine News Agency, and in partnership with Manila Bulletin, Informatics Diliman, and Air 1. Mapapakinggan nyo rin kami sa PBS Radyo ng Bayan 738 kHz. Ngayong araw may bisita po tayong isang incumbent governor at re-electionist. Kasama po natin si Governor Johnny Pimentel ng Surigao del Sur. Taong 1995 nang siya ay naging Vice Governor ng Surigao del Sur. Naging Provincial Administrator naman siya mula 2001 hanggang 2010. He was awarded as one of Caraga's outstanding public servants by the Civil Service Commission in 2008. Magandang araw po sa inyo, Governor.
Good morning din po, Cathy.
Tell us more about Surigao del Sur. Saan po ito matatagpuan malapit at ano po yung mga makikita namin doon, major industries?
Well, una sa lahat, Cathy, ako ay nagpapasalamat na malaki sa PTV for giving me the opportunity na ma-promote natin ang probinsya ng Surigao del Sur, and then may paalam ko rin yung plataforma natin sa mga constituents natin sa Surigao. Well, Surigao del Sur is located in Mindanao. Actually, it is the 56th province that was created by the national government by virtue of Act number 2786 that was signed by then President Carlos P. Garcia. It is on the northern side, we are bounded by Surigao del Norte. Then on the southern side, we are bounded by Davao Oriental. Then on the west side, we are bounded by Agusan del Sur. We have 2 cities, and that is Bislig City and Tandag City, which was just created, yung kasama dun sa 16 cities. And we have 17 municipalities. We are a coastal province. We have a population of 550,000 people, And then our means of livelihood actually are the traditional means, no, yung farming and fishing. However, just recently, about 5 or 6 years ago, pumasok yung mining. We have mining, 4 mining firms that are operating in the province of Surigao del Sur, which has given employment to our province. And then in terms of communication, we have all the municipalities, we have 19 satellites, including cell sites, including Globe and the Smart. We have about 330 kilometers of road network, and 90% of this is already concreted. In terms of tourism, medyo lumalakas na talaga ang probinsya ng Surigao del Sur. We have been investing in tourism promotions, and ngayon we are getting the results. Our tourism arrivals has greatly increased. So, in fact, about last year, or I don't think that was 2 years ago, if you'll recall, I was already featured, or I was a guest here in your morning show, hosted by Veronica and Aljon Bindigo, in which I showed the different tourist spots in the province, which of course is the Tinoyan Falls, which is one of the best falls in the province, in the country. We have Enchanted River, we have a group, Britannia Group of Islands, we have White Beach, we have itong mga caves. So in short, there are a lot of very exciting things that is now happening in our province.
Mamaya po pag-uusapan pa po natin yung turismo at paano nyo ba rin itong turismo sa inyong lugar. Pero bakit po kayo tumatakbong muli sa pagiging gobernador?
Well, because I am now on my first term. But actually, going back, I've been in public service, in the public government of Surigao del Sur for the past 15 years. As you have said earlier, I became vice governor in 1995 to 1998. Then in 2001 up to 2010, I was the provincial administrator because my brother was the one who was the incumbent governor.
Yes.
So now on my first term, I continued all the programs and projects, and I believe that there are still a lot of things to do in the province. Marami pa talagang dapat gawin because let's face it, Surigao del Sur is one of the underdeveloped provinces. I-compare mo sa Luzon or other urbanized provinces. So marami pa tayong plano, marami pa tayong gagawin. I want to uplift the standard of living for the people of Surigao del Sur. So marami pa tayong vision, marami pang direksyon, marami pang proyekto, programa for a good servant, for a good governor, or for that matter, for a good mayor. Hindi 3 years is such a short term. You need at least 3 terms para ma-implement mo talaga ng plano mo para sa iyong probinsya.
Governor, ano-ano po yung mga nakikita niyong malalaking suliranin sa Surigao del Sur na ninanais niyong solusyonan at ano yung mga nakikita niyong solusyon para dito?
Well, una sa lahat, yung poverty incidence. Kailangan muna natin talagang I would like to have a vision that we'll be able to reduce that by 10%. Then yung mga infrastructure projects pa, we have to prioritize that. And I would like to, although we have already improved our health services, but there's still room for improvement. So gusto ko pa talaga improve kasi ako I'm an advocate of yung delivery of basic health services. Kasi sabi ko nga marami tayong indigents doon. So ang gusto ko naman na meron talaga silang access doon sa magandang health services. Although we are one of the underdeveloped provinces, but it doesn't mean that we should to our constituents yung magandang serbisyo. And then, ipopromote ko pa yung agriculture, and of course, I still have plans of putting up or improving our social services in all, halos lahat ng sektor talaga.
Gov, meron po bang mga grupo ng indigenous people sa inyong lugar at ano-ano po itong grupong ito?
Ang indigenous people natin doon is yung Mamanwa and then Manubo, but more Manubo. Marami-rami din tayo doon na mga IPs. In fact, binibigyan ko talaga ng prioridad yan. From time to time, binibisitahan ko sila, and then from time to time, we have a meeting, tinitignan ko kung ano mga problema nila. And just recently, I am pleased to inform our constituents in Surigao del Sur na katatapos pa lang natin gawin yung ADS DPP. This is the Ancestral Domain Sustainable Development and Protection Plan. Actually, this is a comprehensive plan para matugunan yung mga problema ng mga IPs doon. It will show kung ano yung mga resources nila, kung paano nila resources, kasi kailangan yung IPs maiga-guide mo talaga sila eh. Kasi karamihan naman sa kanila, sorry to say, I hope they will not be offended, pero karamihan naman sila, we're not given yung education na tama, no? So, most of the times, they are being exploited.
Gov, isang issue po na gusto kong puntahan ay yun nga with regard to the IPs, no, yung ancestral domain. You mentioned earlier that a few years ago ay pumasok yung industriya ng pagmimina sa inyong lugar. Karaniwan po sa isang probinsya, pag merong pumapasok na pagmimina, ay nagkakaroon po ng friction with the IPs with regard to ancestral domain. Kamusta po itong lagay nila?
Well, sa Surigao del Sur, sa pagkangayon, wala naman tayong problema because before the mining firms operated, gumawa po tayo ng public consultations, public hearings, and then yung tinatawag nating free prior consent ng mga IPs na kailangan magbibigay sila ng written consent mining companies na bago sila nag-operate. So they were properly consulted. And then aside from that, I know, if I'm not mistaken, meron silang tinatawag na yung parang share ng IPs doon. I think doon sa income, 1% of the total gross income, meron parang trust fund or I don't know paano pondo yun. Ito binibigay sa IPs for their projects. Pero as I've said, kailangan din nila ng guidance yun. So kung saan nila ilalagay yun, most probably siguro kung anong kailangan nila. Like for example, potable water supply or livelihood ba or rural health center ba. So, before nag-operate yun, meron tayong proper consultation. We did lahat ng proseso na dapat gawin under the law, lalo na dun sa Philippine Mining Law Act, ginawa po natin. So, ngayon, nag-ooperate sila and then so far, minomonitor natin, baka naman nag-aagrabyado yung IPs, but so far, all the obligations ng mining firms dun sa relative to their mining operations and mining agreements, ginagawa naman po nila, pati lalo na yung social responsibility nila.
How about po yung sa environment?
Well, kasi iba na po ngayon ang mining operations natin, unlike before, no? Because of the Mining Law Act, very comprehensive yung monitoring natin. In fact, meron tayong every 15 days, yung mga operations ng mga mining firms, minomonitor yan. It is composed of, I think, about 22 different representatives from different government agencies, including dyan yung mga non-government organizations, and then including pa yan yung religious sector. So ito pumupunta yan every 15 days doon sa operations. Pag nakitang may problema, then they report this. Kasi kasama dyan MGB, DNR, DepEd, DPWH, then nire-report natin yun kung may problema. Look, for example, what happened in one mining firm. It was reported that there was siltation dun sa area nila. So itong mining firm na to, it was reported dun sa MGB to the proper authorities. Ngayon suspended sila since July. I don't know if they can operate. Siguro if they will make rectifications o gagawin nila wala yung siltation, they will be able to operate. So in short, nababantayan natin yung environment talaga. Dahil itong monitoring group nga na ganito. And then pag may mga violations sila, once they are suspended, I think they have to pay a fine on a daily basis, about 50,000. I'm not very sure kung magkano. So very stringent na talaga, very strict na talaga yung pag-operate natin ng mining.
Alright, meron po ba kayo, Governor, na mga kamag-anak na kasalukuyan nakapwesto o tumatakbo sa politika?
Marami. Marami. Because you know why, Cathy, ang pamilya kasi namin, we have been in politics doon sa probinsya namin since 1950s pa. In fact, ako ay third generation na. My father became the governor from 1946 to 1951. Then my grandmother became the governor from 1964 to 1967. And then my mother became the governor from 1986 to 1988. Then yung brother ko naman from 2001 to 2010. So ngayon, sa pamilya lang namin, 5 na kaming gobernador doon sa lalawigan. Now, sa pagka ngayon, I think there are 7 or 8 in the family who are running. Yung eldest brother ko, si Vicente Pimentel Jr., who was the former governor, is now the mayor of Carrascal, Municipality of Carrascal, and he will be running for election unopposed. Yung isang brother ko naman, si Alexander Pimentel, who is the mayor of Tandag City, who is now on his last term, will field his wife, Roxanne Pimentel, as the mayor. Yung isang pamangkin ko, incumbent mayor naman ng Tago, which is neighboring municipality of Tandag City, si Mayor Henrich Pimentel, will be running for board member. In lieu of his place, yung second cousin ko, Mayor June Pimentel, former Mayor June Pimentel, will run for mayor. Yung dalawang pamangkin ko naman, yung isa is incumbent councilor of Tandag City. He is at present an ex-officio member sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan dahil siyang presidente ng PCL, will be running for re-election. Isang pamangkin ko
So
naman,
marami-rami po yan, Governor.
marami kami. Yung isa naman, yung si Vicente Joseph Pimentel, incumbent barangay captain, na president ng ABC, will be running in October as barangay captain.
Ang gusto po naming malaman sa inyo, Governor, ay ang inyong opinyon patungkol sa napakainit na issue ngayong halalan. Ito pong political dynasties. Pero sasagutin niyo po yan sa pagbabalik ng talakayan natin sa paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Ang mining o pagmimina ay isang paraan ng pagkuha ng mga mineral o material mula sa lupa para magamit sa iba't ibang industriya. Ayon sa Mines and Geosciences Bureau, sagana ang Surigao del Sur sa metallic at non-metallic deposits. Parte ito ng Karagdagang region kung saan may humigit kumulang 20 mining operating companies. Bukod sa pagbibigay ng trabaho, malaki ang kontribusyon ng mining sector sa lugar dahil nakadaragdag ito sa pondo para sa edukasyon, livelihood, agriculture, infrastructure at iba pang social services. Pag may tulong sa industriya at ekonomiya ang pagmimina, may mga hindi sumasang-ayon dito. Pangunahing dahilan na ang deforestation o pagkaubos ng puno sa kagubatan. Maaari ring maging mapanganib ito sa mga residente dahil pwedeng maapektuhan ang watershed, mapolyute ang mga ilog at shorelines at pwede ring magresulta ng pagbaha na makasisira sa farmlands. Ang mga tribo namang nakatira sa mga lugar na pinagmiminaan ay hindi makalikom ng firewood kahit palipat-lipat na lamang sila sa lugar para makahanap ng pagkain at punong kahoy. Sinasabing ang lahat ng sobra ay masama, kaya't dapat ay balansehin at pag-aralan ng mabuti para maiwasan ang kasiraan.
Nagbabalik ang paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng Media ng Bayan. Kami ay napapakinggan nyo rin sa PBS Radyo ng Bayan 738 kHz. At sa unang bahagi ng panayam sa ating bisita, nalaman natin na priority area of concern sa Surigao del Sur ang poverty incidence sa lugar. Ngunit ayon kay Governor Pimentel, target niyang pababain pa ang poverty incidence sa kanyang probinsya by 10% through infrastructure projects, improved health services at pag-entice sa mga investors. Bisitahin ang aming Facebook page sa www.facebook.com/hatolnangbayan2013 o kaya ay mag-tweet sa @hatol2013. Balikan natin muli si Cathy San Gabriel at si Governor Pimentel na sasagot sa issue tungkol sa political dynasty. Cathy?
Salamat, Robert. At kasama pa rin po natin ang gubernatorial candidate na si Governor Pimentel ng Surigao del Sur. Balikan po natin yung tanong ko kanina. Yes. Marami nga po kayong kamag-anak na naging gobernador, naging politiko sa inyong lugar at ngayon marami rin pong tumatakbo at incumbent. Ano po masasabi niyo sa issue ng political dynasty na ibinabato po sa mga katulad ninyo?
Yes. Actually, it has been an issue every elections. We are a classic example. Our family is the classic example of a political dynasty. Kasi sabi ko nga, we are more than 50 years na kami sa politika. Pero para sa akin, it's not an issue eh. Because if we define dynasty, inherited siya. I mean, your power, your authority is inherited from the generation, from your predecessors, your ancestors. Pero in this case, although nasa third generation ako, but we were all elected by the people. We were not appointed by by my forefathers. I was not appointed by my grandmother. We were all elected. So actually, it's the people who will decide. So sa ganitong paraan, nakikita ko na the people still trust our family na to become the leaders of our province. Kasi kung hindi na sana kami nare-re-elect time and time again. So for me, I believe that our family has done a lot of good things for the province. In fact, it has improved, developed, and progressed in the years that we have been the leaders. So I don't see it really as an issue. Kanya lang, alam mo naman, binabati ko ito, lalo na pag sa mga political rivals natin, and then it has become a hot issue also by the church. But as long as the position is an electoral position, an elected position, and as long as the leader has been elected by the people, then I don't see any reason why a problem.
Nabanggit niyo po kanina na third generation na po kayo na nagsisilbi sa inyong probinsya. Ang batikos po ng ilan ay marami pa rin daw pong mga mahihirap sa inyong lugar.
Well, it has greatly improved, no? Dati ang poverty incidence natin nasa 50%, pero ngayon nasa below 50% na. And then we have done a lot of things for the improvement of the province. Look at the statistics. Dati-rati, ang Surigao del Sur was only a third-class province. But under our administration, we have become a first-class province. So just like what Secretary Robredo did in Naga City, from a third-class city, naging first-class. And that is just an evidence of good governance. Kasi kung hindi maganda ang pagdadala namin sa aming probinsya, nanatili sana kaming third-class province. Pero ngayon, first-class province na kami. Several years ago, Surigao del Sur was identified as one of the poorest provinces in the country, one of the 20 poorest provinces. But in 2011, the NEDA regional director, me in fact, and informed me, she gave me the documents, evidences, to prove that Surigao del Sur has already graduated from one of the poorest provinces. And this was not easy. Talagang dati-rati number 5 kami. Then in 2010, I think naging number 11 kami. In 2011, naging number 16 kami. Then finally in 2012, talagang nakagraduate na kami. Then sa infrastructure projects, several years ago, during especially sa administration, ng hindi sapat namin sa administration, yung kalsada natin, gibang-giba. I mean, we had one of the worst road network. In fact, when Secretary Gordon was our guest 7 or 8 years ago, when he reached the province, sinabi niya, how can you promote tourism in your province? Ang giba-giba ng kalsada niyo. Pero ngayon, tignan mo, we have one of the best road networks in the country. Ang dami. Ang unemployment rate natin has gone down. So marami talaga kami nagagawa. So that is why, probably, that is why the people our leadership. Tignan mo na lang, statistics. 2010, maraming black propaganda na tinapon sa pamilya namin, but I still won with more than 100,000 votes. Kung talagang wala kaming ginawa, I'm very sure na hindi ganun kalaki ang agwat sa kalaban ko.
Alright. Tunguhan po natin yung iba't ibang mga issue na kinakaharap natin sa ngayon. Ito pong issue ng pagkakaroon ng loose firearms. Kamusta na po ang statistika sa inyong probinsya at yung pagpapatupad po ng gun ban? Kasi may mga ilan pong na-report na gun ban violations sa Tandag City.
Well, starting nung January 13 or I think 11, basta yung implementation ng gun ban, nag-establish na kaagad kami ng checkpoints. Before the implementation of gun ban, we held a Peace and Order Council meeting. Inimbita natin ang provincial commander, inimbita natin yung 3 infantry battalion, and I requested them to help us in implementing the gun ban. And so far, since the implementation, meron na tayong 9 cases. Now, we have apprehended ito at saka napailan na ng kaso ng illegal possession. And sa pagka-ngayon, so far, mabuti naman. Wala naman tayong death-related, election-related na namatay doon sa aming probinsya. So I would I would really ensure that we will have an orderly and clean elections in the province of Surigao del Sur.
Coastal po ang inyong probinsya. Kamusta po ang disaster preparedness nyo and risk reduction?
We have a very good disaster preparations doon, no? Because nung 4 or 5 years ago, we were a recipient of a READY project, acronym yun, READY project, implemented by the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council. It was funded, it's a foreign funded by UNDP. Ito ay pagtuturo sa mga constituents natin doon na in time of disasters, what are they going to do? So, almost 2 months kami doon. Nag-training kami, may capability training, they gave us gadgets, tapos gumawa tayo ng mga drill, lalo na nung kausuhan ng tsunami, nung madalas mag-tsunami warning, nag-implement tayo ng mga drills. So pagdating talaga ng typhoon, let's take for example yung Typhoon Sendong. Pagdating ng Typhoon Sendong, the people in Surigao del Sur were all prepared. And aside from that, I'm a hands-on manager. So bago pa lang dumating yung Typhoon Sendong, in-inform na natin yung mga MDRIM, yung Municipality Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, informing them that in case na tumaas yung water level along the rivers, so i-evacuate na, lalo na dun sa low-lying areas. So in Typhoon Sendong, because of our preparedness sa disaster, we had a 0 casualty. And then dito na lang sa Typhoon Pablo, dahil hindi kami preparado, we were still prepared, but then sa lakas na lang talaga ng hangin, we had 12 casualties. But then this is far, far better than Compostela Valley, which had 700 casualties.
Na nasa tabi nyo lang po.
And then, Oriental, ang katabi namin, Davao Oriental,
yes.
They had almost 300 casualties. Yung sa amin, ang Typhoon Sendong tumama is Tuesday early morning. Pero nag-start kami pag-evacuate Sunday afternoon pa. We were able to evacuate about 9,600 families.
Alright.
And then that consists about 25,000 people. Pero dahil nga sa lakas ng hangin, yung iba, hindi na dahil hindi prepared kami, kundi natumbahan ng niyog, yung iba,
Sunod po, kahirapan at employment, job generation, paano nyo po tutugunan ito?
Well, sa pagkangayon, isa na na-displace talaga natin because Surigao del Sur, yan yung isa sa Caraga, yung Caraga is the timber corridor, no, of the country. Nung wala pa yung EO23, 3 yung logging firms na nag-operate doon, employing thousands of people. But nung in-implement yung EO23, total log ban, so na-displace yun. But fortunately, meron namang pumalit yung mining firms. There are now 4 mining firms operating in our province, employing 6,000 people. So yung mga displaced na workers doon sa logging, inabsorb doon sa mining. And now, because of our efforts in enticing investors, in inviting investors in the province, pumasok na dyan yung Dole Philippines, yung banana plantation. Pumasok na rin yung Simifru. Now, how many are they employing? They're employing a total of 2,000 people. Although, meron pa rin tayong unemployment problem, pero at least gumagaan na ngayon because of these industries. And then, well, yung iba talaga, nandun pa rin tayo sa farming and fishing.
Edukasyon po?
Edukasyon, I'm doing everything in our, because education actually is the responsibility of the Department of Education. But in our own little way, we are augmenting the funds for the providing of quality education. Meron akong tinatawag ng sa SEF, yung sa Local School Board Fund. And one of the problems besetting our educational system, there are 2 actually, no? One is a shortage of teachers. That is a very perennial problem.
Yes. And nationwide po yun.
Nationwide yan. 2 is a shortage of classrooms. So, ang ginagawa ko, I have 11 million pesos every year. Nag-augment ako. I put funds 3 million pesos for the hiring of volunteer teachers. Pero ito honorarium lang. Para nag-augment doon sa yung may mga lugar, this is distributed among the different municipalities, yung mga may problema, kulang ng teachers, doon ko nilalagay yung volunteer teachers. Then I allocate some funds for the rehabilitation and construction of school buildings, yung talagang really in need, doon ko nilalagay yun. So in my own little way, I'm also helping in the delivery of basic educational services.
Mamaya po, ipagpapatuloy pa natin ang ating talakayan with Governor Pimentel. Samantala, tumungo naman po tayo sa aking kasamang si Robert Tan. Robert?
Maraming salamat, Kathy. Alam niyo, very interesting ang take ni Governor Pimentel sa political dynasties dahil bagamat meron siya 10 kamag-anak na kumakandidato ngayong eleksyon, isa lang daw itong patunay na tiwala ang mga tao sa pamamahala ng pamilyang Pimentel na namuno sa Surigao del Sur for more than 50 years. Sa huli, isa lang daw ang totoo. Ang boses ng taong bayan ang nangingibabaw tuwing halalan. At may nagpadala rin ng katanungan mula sa ating manonood. Ito'y tanong mula kay Ruby ng Surigao del Sur. Last month, may sinunog daw na bodega ng fertilizer at bag ng buto sa loob ng plantasyon ng saging sa Tagbina, Surigao del Sur. Mahigit 100,000 pesos po yung pinsala ng sunog at pinaniniwala ang rebelde ang nanunog. Ano ang response nyo dito? Abangan ang sagot ng ating bisita sa pagbabalik ng pagbahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Bagamat kalakhan ng populasyon ng probinsya ay migrante at tubong Bisaya, ang Surigao del Sur ay lugar ng mga katutubong mamanwa at manobo. Sa ngayon, ang ilang bahagi ng lupain pa lang ang nasa sakupan na ng Certificate of Ancestral Domain Claim o CADC, Certificate of Ancestral Domain Title o CADT na nagbibigay karapatan sa lupain ng mga katutubo. Ngunit sa kabila ng proteksyon sa mga katutubong mamamayan, malaki ang banta ng pananakop ng mga kumpanya ng plantasyon, minahan at trosuhan sa mga lupain ng probinsya. Patuloy na ipinaglalaban ng mga katutubo ang pangangalaga at pagtanggol sa kanilang lupain sa pagsusulong ng karapatan sa free, fair, and informed consent sa anumang panukalang proyekto na makakaapekto sa kanilang komunidad.
Nagbabalik po ang paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng Media ng Bayan. Kami po ay napapakinggan nyo rin sa PBS Radyo ng Bayan 738 kHz. Kanina ay may binasa pong katanungan si Robert at sasagutin ito ni Governor Pimentel. Yun pong katanungan ni Ruby, may nanunog daw po ng mga sinasabing rebelde.
Yes, that is true. Aside from that, may sinunog din na refrigerated van. Ito lang ang medyo may problema tayo because Surigao is still one of the critical provinces in terms of peace and order. But we are doing everything. I am coordinating with the armed forces, especially the 29th and then the 401st Brigade, and how to stop these harassments from the insurgents. So actually, this is the responsibility of the armed forces from the Philippines. So I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to the armed forces of the Philippines na kung pwede tulungan kami to stabilize the peace and order situation in the province of Surigao del Sur.
Isa rin po sa problema sa peace and order yung pagkakaroon po ng droga sa isang lugar dahil ito po ang punot dulo ng mga krimen. Kamusta po ang sitwasyon pagdating sa droga sa Surigao del Sur?
Well, meron din tayo, no? But hindi naman ganun. Ang rate niya is not as alarming as dito sa Manila or in other urbanized cities. But I cannot deny the fact na meron talagang presensya ng droga. And because of that, nag-launch tayo in 2011 itong kampanya ko which we call JES Contra Droga, an anti-illegal drugs campaign. The purpose is to seek and coordinate and seek support from all the members of the community. Kasi hindi naman talaga kaya ng kapulisan lang. Hindi naman kaya ng kami lang ang magbantay nitong droga. So we activated the barangay tannods. We seek the help of the barangay council, barangay captains, even the non-government organizations. And because of this awareness, dissemination of awareness, may problema ng droga doon sa probinsya, Ngayon, marami na tayo na-apprehend. Almost every month, 2 to 3, we have conducted 2 to 3 successful buy-bust operations. And we have already filed several cases of drug-related cases. O karamihan nito nasa kulungan na. So we're doing progress in our anti-drug campaign.
Meron po tayong mensahe mula sa ating manonood. Si Chris ng Surigao del Sur, nabalitaan ko po na nag-release ang National ng 50 million peso budget para po sa repair and restoration ng damaged road slips sa Payasan, Los Arcos section along Lianga, Prosperidad Road. Gaano po katagal bago ito maayos?
Well, actually sinimulan yan, yung 50 million pesos that was released dahil nga nung Typhoon Sendong, malakas ang ulan, tapos nagka-road slip doon. That was started about 3 months ago. Hopefully, it will be completed. Actually, in the first week of April, siguro tapos na yan eh. Kasi nadaanan ko yan before I came here to Manila, and it's already about 80% completed. So ako'y nagpapasalamat kay President Aquino and to Secretary Singson sa pag-release nila, at least naagapan, kasi kung hindi, it will do more damage kung hindi ito nalagyan ng repair and reconstruction of that road.
Balikan po natin yung peace and order. Meron po bang mga presensya ng private armed groups sa Surigao del Sur?
Well, sa pagkangayon, wala naman eh. In fact, kasi minomonitor din yan eh. Minomonitor ng DILG. In fact, for the past several months, merong mga reports nga, meron daw armed group. So nagpunta doon yung intelligence arm ng armed forces, nagpunta doon ng NBI, nagpunta yung ibang mga grupo pa from the Office of the President, nag-imbestiga doon. Pero wala, it has been already been neutralized. But then, meron tayo yung mga kulto doon. May isang kulto doon. Binabantayan na, and some of these have already been apprehended. Yung tinatawag natin na bagulan, may mga armado rin silang mga ano. Pero these are not armed groups that are nagsusuporta sa mga politiko. Kundi kulto talaga ito. And I think it was already featured sometime in one TV station several years ago. Pero nan-neutralize na rin natin ito.
Intense political rivalry.
Well, as far as the provincial level is concerned, wala naman. Because I'm running unopposed, my vice governor is running unopposed. So, pero doon sa munisipyo, meron na kaming na-identify na at least 5 to 6 municipalities na hotspot na talagang intense yung neck-to-neck yung political race. So, yun lang ang binabantayan namin. But relatively, I assure the people of, all the people, especially in this province of Surigao del Sur, that ang Surigao naman ay peaceful naman. We have no history of political violence in the province, unlike, sad to say, in other provinces na grabing patayan. Sa amin, wala namang ganon.
How about po yung healthcare? Sa kalusugan, paano nyo po susolusyonan? Marami pa po tayong kababayan.
Mabuti tinanong mo yan because sabi ko nga, advokasya ko yung health programs. In 2011, we were awarded the Galing Puok Award, no less than by the President himself in Malacanang, because of our efforts in improving our health services. Nung umupo kami, medyo talagang walang magandang health services. So ang ginawa natin, we invested, no? Kasi giba-giba yung mga hospitals, walang mga medical equipment, walang mga ambulansya. So nag-invest ako ng almost 15 million pesos. We upgraded the hospital facilities. Yung iba, reconstruct natin. Yung iba talaga, giniba natin. Naglagay tayo ng bagong hospital. Then, binilhan natin all our hospitals. Bumili ako ng 8 brand yung Then we bought medical equipment. We provided medicines. We trained the medical personnel. So, ngayon, and because of our efforts, actually, we achieved one of the Millennium Development Goals of the country, and that is the maternal health. We have reduced the maternal mortality ratio in our province. Na-achieve na natin yun.
How about turismo po? Kasi ang Surigao del Norte ay talagang kilala sa Siargao. How about Surigao del Sur? How do you plan to improve tourism in your area?
Actually, it is now improving. Whereas before, we had zero, not really zero, but a few hundred tourist arrivals. But starting 5 years ago, and then because of aggressive tourism promotions, talagang nag-invest kami, no? Nag-invest tayo sa mga magazines like Travel Time. We invested in TV shows, ANC, yung kay Susan Calo Medina. We invested in tri-media, actually, print, radio, and then and because of aggressive tourism promotions, we saw the steady increase of tourist arrivals, domestic tourists.
Yes.
In 2008, nag 6,000 na tourist arrivals tayo. In 2009, 14,000. In 2010, this reached to 24,000. In 2011, naging 34,000. In 2012, we already reaching the 50,000 mark. Ito we're talking about domestic tourists. Those tourists coming from Manila, Bukidnon, Visayas. But on the foreign tourists, nag-increase din tayo from 300, ngayon 600 na. So, we are promoting Surigao del Sur as one of the emerging eco-tourist destinations in the country.
Alright, agrikultura. Paano niyo po
Isa pa rin yan. Isa yan na talagang, that is one of my platform to prioritize agriculture. And I'm pleased to inform our people, especially in the province, if you're watching, na we have improved yung agricultural sector natin. In fact, because of our programs, in 2011, we were awarded the Top Rice Achievers Award, no? Ito ay binigay ni Secretary Alcala sa Department of Agriculture, recognizing our efforts in implementing programs intended to increase rice productivity. In 2011, we produced 120,000 metric tons, making Surigao del Sur the number 2 largest producer in Caraga region. Sa pagkangayon, kasi ang Surigao del Sur is the number 1 producer of soybeans in the country. We are the number 1 producer of coffee beans in Caraga region.
Alright.
Last year, we produced 1 million kilos. We are the 5th largest of abaca in the entire country. And now I am introducing high-value crops such as rubber and then other agricultural crops intended to promote or to increase agricultural products in the province.
Governor, last question, mensahe nyo na lang po para sa ating mga manonood. Very quickly, sir.
Well, una sa lahat, again, my gratitude to PTV for inviting me to be your guest. And then pangalawa, iniimbitahan ko po yung mga kababayan natin sa buong bansa na pumunta po kayo sa Surigao del Sur. We have so many tourist spots, and it is one of, as I've said, our province is one of the emerging eco-tourist destinations in the country. And lastly, I would like to assure the people of Surigao del Sur that we will exert all our efforts to have a peaceful and orderly elections. And kung maaari, ipagpatuloy po ninyo ang pagkumpiyansa ninyo sa liderato ko. They say that a public office is a public trust. I assure all Surigaonons that I will never betray your public trust by giving you the best service to our people of Surigao del Sur. Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga at maraming salamat din po sa inyo, Governor Johnny Pimentel ng Surigao del Sur. Magbabalik pa po ang paghahanda para sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Tinatayang may 300 kilometro ang haba ng dagat ng Surigao del Sur. Kaya naman, naang humagupit ang Bagyong Pablo noong December 2012, marami ang mga komunidad ng probinsya ang nasalanta ng malalakas na hangin at sigwa ng alon sa mga baybaying lugar. Madalas rin ang lindol sa lugar. At dahil kalakhan ng mga pamayanan ay nasa baybaying dagat, ang tsunami ang isa sa kinatatakutan ng lahat ng tao. Dahil sa ganito katangian ng probinsya, ang pagpapatatag ng lokal na Disaster Risk Reduction and Management ay sa mga pangunahing proyekto ng lokal na pamahalaan at ng mga mamamayan.
Kasi itong lalawigan ng Surigao del Sur, no, at nakikita natin na yung ekonomiya niya lumalaki din from third-class province, naging first-class province, at naging isang tourist destination na siya. Pero nga ito, sa usapin ng eleksyon, binabalot pa rin ng iba't ibang mga issue tulad nga yung political dynasty. Sinabi nga ng ating guest na 10 silang tumatakbo dito, uncontested pa.
Oo, at 50 taon na mahigit ang kanyang pamilya, ang pamilya Pimentel sa politika sa Surigao del Sur. So alam po natin na tuwing eleksyon ito ang malaking issue na iminumulat po sa atin ng ating mga kababayan. May mga na talagang opposed dito. Nasa sa atin po in the end ang paghahatol. Sinasabi rin nila, no, to be fair, na ay tingnan din ang kanilang track record at nagawa para sa bayan. So, in the end po, tayo ang nasa sa atin po nakasalalay, tayo ang boboto. Pag-isipan po natin kung nais pa nating iluklok ang mga ganitong pamilya or gusto nating makakita naman ng iba.
Sa ganitong bagay, no, parang where do you draw the line or where do you see the line? Kasi pag nakikita mo isang lugar ay umuunlad nga, pero nga political dynasty ang nagpapatakbo nito, ano ba talagang gagawin? Sa tao na, at sinabi mo nga, Cathy, sa tao na talaga ang desisyon nito at sila talaga kung gusto nila pa rin iluklok, in the end, either magsisisi sila or sasaya sila sa kanilang binoto.
At isa rin sa lumabas sa aming diskusyon, Robert, itong issue ng indigenous peoples and mining. Laging pinapaalalahanan ng iba't ibang grupo itong mga mining companies na maging responsable sa kanilang paggawa ng negosyo sa isang lugar. And kailangan din ng kaakibat na ating mga local government units.
Kailangan talaga yan. At nakita natin sa araw na ito ang ugnayan ng iba't ibang area. Politika, turismo, industriya, ekonomiya at iba pa. Ang lahat ng ito ay magiging matagumpay sa pamamagitan ng tamang pamamalakad ng mga pinuno gaya ng isang gobernador. Ako si Robert Tan.
Bilang isang matalinong botante, kilatisin nating mabuti ang mga ginawa ng ating mga pinuno para sa kaunlaran ng inyong lugar. Isipin kung may pag-angat at pagbabago. May sapat bang mga programa ito para sa mga mamamayan? Ilan lang yan sa mga dapat na tanong para mapili ang tamang kandidato ngayong halalan. Pinasasalamatan po namin ang Ergo Contracts Philippines para sa ating tables and chairs. Matatagpuan sila sa 2634 Rockefeller Street, Barangay San Isidro, Makati City. Pwede ninyo silang tawagan sa numerong 843-1177 at maaari ninyong bisitahin ang kanilang website sa www.ergocontracts.com. Ako po si Cathy San Gabriel at magandang araw sa inyong lahat.